Doug and PA back with another one. So I found this attorney on TikTok who's going to tell us why more and more women are losing custody of their children because of the lies they told in paternity court. Guys, you all know what's going on. A wife leaves her husband, a baby mama gets mad at the baby daddy, and when the custody hearings start, she starts throwing all sorts of accusations and all sorts of lies about the guy to get custody of the child, to get sole custody so she can get that child support. So we're going to see what this attorney has to say. Before I do that, like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. I'd really appreciate it. It shows you support me and what I'm doing over here. And let's get into this.
Greetings, this is Attorney TMG, and I am back to discuss how moms are losing custody. I did take a break during Lent from social media, but I am back, and I want to talk to you about what I've been seeing in court, which is a topic that I covered briefly before, but apparently I need to go into more detail. Moms are losing custody because they are lying in court, lying about dad, lying about a number of topics, spreading false narratives, being deceptive, and apparently a lot of women believe that this is the way that they can maintain custody of their child.
First off, that's going to get a
Jesus H. Christ.
because it's true. It's true. And there is an infrastructure in place that tell women to do this. Their mothers, their sisters, their friends, all their baby mama friends. The attorneys themselves tell them to do this, guys. So men have to deal with false accusations, restraining orders, getting their names smeared in the public because women are so selfish that they want the only access to their children.
Well, I have to tell you that nothing can be further from the truth. It is important and quite imperative that you be honest in court. Let's talk about some of the lies that I've seen over the past several weeks. Here are some of the lies that I've seen from mothers in court recently. Mom has told the court that dad does not financially support the child at all, and so therefore he shouldn't have custody. Of course, dad sends the payments via Cash App and can pull it up, right?
Guys, don't give a baby mama any money. Don't give the mother of your children any money if you've broken up with her unless it's court ordered, guys. Don't do this off the book stuff because there have been plenty of times where the guy was giving the woman money in cash or in checks or something, and then he gets put on child support and he has to pay back child support. Guys, don't do it.
Right there in court upon the judge's request. Mom is lying, saying that she's breastfeeding, and so dad can't see the baby. Meanwhile, mom is away and letting other people have visitation with the child, but just not dad.
Yep, we all know that happens, guys. I want to keep the child. The child's mine. You can't see him. Well, then why is he at your mom's house all the time? Why is he at your sister's house all the time while you're out in the club?
Mom is lying, saying that she does not work because she doesn't want her income counted on the child support worksheet, the Dissomaster, or whatever it's called. Usually for child support purposes, the income of both parties is utilized in coming up with the child support amount. Mom is lying about not working. Now, you know that lie won't stand forever.
Because they will do a background search and find your employment, ladies. Women will only lie about them not having income so they can get the most amount of alimony if they're divorcing their husband and the most amount of child support.
Mom is lying about dad not paying medical bills for the birth of the child. You see, mom submitted bills to dad. Dad didn't pay the bills because he actually called, found out that the bills were covered in full by Medicaid. And speaking of Medicaid, mom lies to Medicaid and says she doesn't know who the dad is, and so therefore she gets all sorts of government assistance while dad is actually financially supporting the child. But then, hey, DFACS, they come after dad to be reimbursed, and lo and behold, dad's been paying all along.
Yep, guys, there are certain states where if a woman gets benefits and then they find out who the father is, the father has to pay back the benefits that the government gave her, guys. This is what's going on out here, guys.
Mom is also lying about the child being sick during time that is already maybe court awarded for dad to see the child. Mom consistently says that the child is sick but has no medical records to substantiate her allegation. Here's a pretty bad lie. Mom lies saying that she is afraid of dad. He is abusive and she doesn't want to be involved with making an exchange of the minor child because she's afraid of dad. In fact, whenever dad is around, mom calls the police. That's another lie that's not going to live forever. If you have had a relationship with dad, especially for a number of years, police were never called. Now that we're in custody court, dad is somehow abusive, but there's no allegations of abuse prior to the lawsuit. There's no records of any abuse. There's nothing that supports this claim, which is horrible.
And that happens all the time, guys. That's going to get us.
Jesus H. Christ.
Because how many red pill channels, Pearl, and a couple of other people say that will have women on their podcast saying, "Oh, my ex was abusive. He was physically abusive. Did you call the police? Where are the police reports?" St. Kevin Samuels, he'd say it. Did you call the police? Police? Well, I couldn't. But all of a sudden, because you're leaving him, or because your baby father has a new girlfriend, all of a sudden he's abusive. And then don't forget, guys, they try and say emotionally abusive, psychologically abusive, financially abusive, spiritually abusive, all this garbage. If there are no police reports, it's hard to substantiate. And women will toss around claims of abuse just to get their own selfish desires in paternity court.
That lie is complicated even further if mom goes and files for a fake temporary protective order or a fake restraining order, if it's called that in your jurisdiction. Usually those are not granted on a permanent basis, but mom has the temporary win of keeping dad away from his children until there could be a full hearing in which it is discovered that mom is lying. Even worse, mom goes to file false criminal charges against dad. How hateful are you to do that, knowing that the allegations are false? That's one of the things that can absolutely cause mom to lose custody.
Guys, I wonder what the stats are. Because they always talk about, oh yeah, when a woman gets, SA'd, there's so much that goes underreported. What about all these false allegations that end up getting disproven? Uh, How many never get disproven, guys? How many men are out there suffering right now, not seeing their kids, in the penitentiary due to false accusations, and those false allegations stick? And there are women out there who know for a fact that they falsely accused a guy and he's being punished for it. Talk about underrepresented.
This same mom who filed the fake TPO or the falsified criminal charges while they're pending and dad is basically trying to prove his innocence. This particular mom is now telling neighbors, people at school, other parents at the child's activities that dad has done all sorts of nefarious things, basically disparaging dad in front of anyone who will listen. These moms have not considered the fact that their actions are actually hurting the minor child. But that's not lost upon the judge. And typically, if you've engaged in any of these types of lies, false narratives, deception, judges can pick that out, and very likely you may lose custody or dad may get joint physical custody of 50-50, all because of your lies. So don't do it, moms.
See, I don't think the majority of judges have this mindset. Remember, guys, judges are incentivized to get as much child support as possible. So I think it's only a small minority of judges that she's talking about. Guys, the best way to deal with paternity court is to never have to end up there in the first place. Doug MPA has no kids, and the reason why is my fear of co-parenting, guys. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do it. So I'd rather not play the game than lose and co-parent. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you on the next one.